I ordered the ride at 11:38 p.m. Standing under a blown street lamp outside the Midtown Arts Theater, still half buzzed from the closing night cast party. My usual plan was to split a lift home with Sasha, but she'd met someone and vanished. So I thumbed the app and watched the little sedan icon crawl across the map. A blue Honda Civic, plates 3VJU 657, driver name Hal 4.9 stars, 2000 trips, profile photo of a guy wearing reflective sunglasses. Estimated arrival 4 minutes. The theater district empties fast on Sunday. By the time the counter hit 1 minute, my block was silent except for leftover helium balloons rolling in gutter puddles. A Honda Civic turned onto 510th, headlights bouncing. I glanced at my screen. Arrival now. I waved. The driver slowed, flashed high beams once. I opened the back door, and the dome light showed a clean seat, mints in a mesh pocket, faint citrus air freshener, everything rideshare generic. Before I buckled, the driver asked, "Cassie?" Voice light, neutral. I nodded, said, "Yes," thanked him for being quick. He pulled out, left hand gripping the wheel at 10 o'clock, right hand tapping his phone on the console. Screen brightness blinded me for a second. I saw a navigation app, but not Lyft's usual interface, just a black background with a blue line and no branding. I assumed maybe he used Waze. We headed north, but instead of merging onto Riverside, he stayed on the access road, a darker route with vacant warehouses. The app sometimes reroutes to avoid construction, so I kept quiet. Then the seatbelt chime dinged twice, though I was buckled. The driver tapped the dash, muttered something like sensor glitch. His hand shook as he silenced it. I got a better look at him then. Sunglasses profile photo was no actual mirror shades at night, reflecting dashboard LEDs. He wore a zip-up hoodie with the seam thread still bright, as if straight from packaging. His Lyft sticker on the windshield peeled at one corner. When the dome light flashed earlier, I noticed the backing paper still stuck beneath. My phone pinged. "Your driver is on location." Confused, I saw another Civic icon. Same model, same plate, but it sat on 510th outside the theater. Map, pulsing, waiting. My chest tightened to identical cars. I asked, "How is the app lagging?" "It shows you back there." He kept eyes ahead. Said cell towers downtown cause weird delays. But fingers drummed fast on the wheel. I toggled flashlight mode, pretended to adjust purse, and aimed phone at the interior ID. The lanyard clipped to the mirror read, "Ride X, not Lyft." The sticker on rear window matched. Ride X, a startup ride app that soft launched 2 weeks ago with zero regulation, offering cash fares and burner numbers. I read one article about fake RideX cars trolling bars to lure drunk riders. They looked like other services if you squinted. I thumbed Lyft chat. Driver mismatch. Urgent. A bot auto replied. Signal bars dropped, warehouses turned to underpass concrete. I forced calm, asked if he could adjust a cold air might keep me awake. He said system stuck on recirc, apologized, windows fogged, outside lights blurred. I punched address bar on maps, quietly, so we were farther west than any construction. Next turn dead-ended at railway service roads. My gut screamed. I feigned sudden nausea, said I'd throw up, needed a restroom. He murmured almost there and speeded up. Hand slipped into hoodie pocket. Stayed. I scanned door. Manual lock knob. I lifted it silently. Window crank grip, gun only, power controls on driver panel. Child lock may be engaged. I shifted weight, easing phone beside thigh, double-clicked side button to dial the emergency contact shortcut I'd set for Mel last year. Screen dark so driver couldn't notice. 3 rings clicked silent, voicemail. I whispered, voice trembling, Address fragments. Civic 3VJU 657. Wrong driver. Railroad west side. Then slid phone under thigh. We turned onto an unlit lane flanked by shipping containers. Headlights caught a white cargo van idling. Rear doors open. My pulse thundered. Driver slowed, waved left hand. Van's brake lights glowed in answer. I yanked seatbelt free, threw weight against door, shoulder checked it open. I half vaulted. The Civic jerked right as driver grabbed at my coat sleeve, nails scraping fabric. I tumbled onto gravel, rolled, knees tearing through tights. Headlights swung but didn't chase. Civic braked, engine revved, then reversed fast toward the van. I scrambled, running toward container stacks, lungs ripping cold air. Behind me, two doors slammed, footsteps, low voices. Where? That way. I ducked between containers, phone clenched. Screen cracked but still lit. No bars, just SOS only. Cargo yard stretched 3 blocks, ending at levee fencing. I crawled under a rusted frame trailer, texted 911 despite no service, hoping emergency band might ping. Message failed. I recorded 20-second voice memo with location guess. Hit send to cloud, maybe upload later. Breaths echoed under steel. Footsteps crunched, gravel rose away. Flashlights arced. Driver's voice calm now. Cassie, we can still work this out. Bonus ride, just cash. Another voice laughed. Train horn wailed from river track, masking noise. I bolted towards sound, skirted fence until I found a washout under chain link. I belly crawled, shredding denim, popped up on dead grass along ballast. Freight cars rattled slow northbound. I ran opposite, rails between me and yard. No footsteps behind. At last bar flickered on phone. I stabbed 911. Dispatch answered, static loud. I gasped location shards. West Service Lane near Pier 19 containers. Fake rideshare. 2 males. Call held. She told me keep moving east toward lit structure. Officers inbound. 10 minutes later, cruiser lights split night. I waved. Collapsed. Officers swept yard. Found cargo van, but no Civic. Van registered to a Shell leasing company. Inside, 2 more Ridex windshield decals, burner phones, and printed passenger names mine circled. Pickup spot noted. They later learned thieves trolled geofenced nightlife spots, spoofing rideshare arrival texts with phishing links, so passengers saw matching car and partial plate. Once inside, driver disabled child, locks at signaled alley, funneled victims to van, robbing or worse. Detectives linked 4 missing person cases to similar vans. Real Hal, the legitimate Lyft driver, reported a no-show. His dashcam captured me waving another Civic into the curb. He never saw the license mismatch amid traffic. When police traced RideX, the domain redirected to an offshore host, then vanished. No arrests yet. I keep a scar on my left knee like a zipper. Sometimes it aches when trains pass. Lyft added a pop-up. Check driver face, tap sound code before entry. Bars install QR posts matching legitimate ride apps. Friends roll eyes, say press pieces, exaggerate. I forward them a screenshot of my last RideX text timed 2 minutes after the chase. Just 4 words. Wrong direction. Almost there. The number deactivated seconds later. Now, every curbside pickup, I stand under a streetlight, confirm photo to face, ask for the ride password. Drivers grumble. I don't care. Because horror on wheels doesn't rev engine and squeal off. It waits in driver mode, mirror shades hiding eyes, phone on dash showing a path only he can see. 1 tap wrong, 1 street lamp out, and you ran a passenger. You recargo bound for a van whose doors stay shut even after the app insists you arrived safely 5 minutes ago. I used to share a cramped cubicle with Jenna back when we both ground through night shift fraud reports for a big insurance firm. We kept the same hours and traded black coffee recipes, so when she called me shaking at 2 in the morning last March, I answered on instinct. The story she spilled that night still plays in my head whenever an unfamiliar sedan slows beside a curb. Jenna had been visiting her older sister in the suburbs. Nothing wild, just dinner, baby photos, and homemade sangria that ran later than planned. Around 11:45 p.m., she ordered a ride through her usual app. The driver, profile name Marco, showed a teal sedan, 4.8 stars, arrival in 5 minutes. Jenna stepped onto the quiet cul-de-sac, hugged her sister goodbye, and watched the map icon glide toward the house. A teal sedan rolled up exactly on time, headlights dipping. The driver cracked his window, called her name, and tapped the horn once courteous, not pushy. She slipped into the back seat, buckled up, and thanked him for punctuality. Inside smelled of generic fabric spray, the kind that tries to bury stale coffee. Classical piano hummed low. The driver asked if cabin temp was okay, but didn't chit-chat further, pretty standard for a midnight ride. About 3 blocks in, Jenna's phone buzzed. Your driver has arrived waiting at pickup. Confused, she squinted at the alert. It displayed the same driver name, but the car icon still sat outside her sister's house. She glanced at the front seat driver's phone screen, glowed a dark mode map she didn't recognize. No company branding. She leaned forward. Marco, the app saying you're still at my pickup spot. Is your app glitching? Without meeting her eyes in the mirror, he murmured something about GPS, lag downtown. The route he followed felt off. Instead of the main boulevard toward the interstate, he turned onto a frontage road hugging a warehouse strip Jenna didn't recognize. She pulled up Google Maps quietly. The blue dot crawled west away from her apartment. She coughed, forced her tone casual. Hey, quickest way is Harrison and 64th. Could we head that direction? He nodded without a word, eyes fixed ahead, but he didn't change course. Signal on her phone dipped to 1 bar. The rideshare app froze. Jenna's pulse climbed. She asked for fresh air, said she was prone to motion sickness. He cracked his window an inch, but kept vents blowing. The fabric spray scent sharpened into something sweet and plastic, making your head swim. She pinched her thigh through Jean's dad's trick to stay alert. Her phone chimed again, but not through data. It was a text over a known number. Wrong car. Driver still waiting? Call 911. Below was a selfie of her sister standing in front of a different teal sedan. Same make and model. Company sticker legit. Hazard lights blinking in the driveway. The real Marco. Adrenaline flared. Jenna thumbed the power button 5 times. Emergency shortcut to dial 911. But the signal bar vanished to 0. Call failed. She lifted her voice. Sorry, I need to confirm route on my map. Can you pull over a moment? He answered gently, signal's bad here, we'll reconnect by the creek, and accelerated past a dead street lamp. Seatbelt latch rested against her hip. She pressed the red release nothing. Child safety cap covered the button. Door handle looked intact, but little toggles above the armrest were gone. Only driver could unlock. She remembered a safety tip. Rear passengers can sometimes trip the latch with a rigid object. All she had was a metal nail file in her purse. She palmed it, slid it under the plastic cap, and twisted. Plastic cracked. She felt the latch give beneath. She kept belt loose but draped so it looked fastened. Outside, chain link fences gave way to vacant lots. The driver slowed near an unlit service road leading under a rail bridge. Ahead, only the glow of sodium lamps reflecting off puddles. He braked, shifted into park, and finally turned, face half in shadow. "Phone dead, huh?" he said, voice warm, as if offering help. Jenna noticed the company sticker on his dash was a peeling magnet beneath glimmered plain glass. He reached toward the console. Jenna thought of pepper spray. She didn't carry any. Instead, she grabbed the file, jammed it deeper, freed the buckle, and slammed her shoulder into the door. Manual lock clicked. She lurched out, feet punching gravel, sprinted toward a strip of light glinting at the bridge mouth. Behind her, car door slammed, footsteps pounded. She hurdled a rain ditch, shoes skidding. As she rounded a concrete abutment, freight train horns blasted overhead, masking her ragged breath. Between ties and track ballast, she dialed 911 again. One shaky bar appeared, call connected. She whispered landmarks, rail bridge off County Road 5, teal sedan, fake driver. Dispatch stayed while she crouched in brush. The sedan's engine revved. Headlights swept, then retreated down the road. Sirens wailed 10 minutes later. Deputies found her shivering but unharmed. They searched area yards. The sedan was gone. Tire impressions led to an abandoned grain elevator lot, then disappeared where asphalt met main highway. Inside the ditch, they recovered a plastic bottle containing chloroform traces, likely the sweet plastic smell. Her nail file lay on the back seat floor where she dropped it. Lab prints traced to no one on record. Company logs showed someone had cloned the real driver's profile photo and first name, changing one letter in the account email. Payment routed through a prepaid card. GPS pings from his spoofed driver phone vanished in the same industrial zone. The device was never recovered. Police linked similar reports. Passenger icons matched plates listed in the app, but drivers failed audio verification questions, and ride data dead-ended where cell towers thin out. Jenna quit late-night rideshares. She bought a small personal alarm and a window punch keychain for emergencies. The company rolled out an update forcing drivers to recite an in-app passcode before the ride can start. Every Friday, she forwards that safety article to group chats. Verify car color, sticker, driver face, ask your name first. People tease her as paranoid, but she keeps one screenshot from that night. The tech selfie of her sister beside the real car and beneath it. The gray bubble that almost sealed her into a bridge underpass. Horror doesn't always have fangs. Sometimes it smiles politely, offers a faster route, and waits for signal bars to die. So the only thing you can hear is your own breathing and the low hum of a motor that ISIN in any company database. I started driving nights so I could pay off the last of my student loans without watching my day job paycheck evaporate on rent. Most riders were bar hoppers or airport runs, and the extra cash felt worth the 2 a.m. yawns. One January Tuesday, rides were slow. The app kept throwing me dead miles quest drive empty into the suburbs to scoop a single fare. Around 1:30, I considered logging out when a ping popped. Pick up 5 minutes north. Premium surge. Passenger name, Evan. Destination not shown. Privacy setting. Some users by. Rating 5.0. Almost unheard of after 200 trips. I slid accept. The ping dropped on a cul-de-sac of brand new tract homes halfway between town and prairie. Streetlights hadn't been installed yet. Only builders' LEDs nailed to plywood posts. As I rolled in, tire crunch echoed, the kind of quiet that makes you feel louder. The map said I arrived, but the house number in the app didn't exist. Lot 27 was an excavated pit, concrete forms exposed to moonlight. I flicked hazards, tapped. I've arrived. The timestamp began its 5-minute countdown. 30 seconds later, a silhouette emerged from the frame pack of the next house, shoulders hunched against the cold. He wore a dark pea coat, no hat, face blurred in backlit dust. He opened the rear door, slid in, pulled it shut without the usual seat-based creak. I greeted him, confirmed, "Evan?" He said yes. Voice calm, precise, like radio diction. The app still showed no destination. I offered water bottle etiquette. He declined, then politely asked me to drive south on County 8 until he told me otherwise. "Cash tip on arrival," he said. The surge already made the trip, Rich. Tips were frosting. As we left the subdivision, cell signal dropped to 2 bars. Evan didn't fiddle with his phone, just stared forward. Interior mirror showed only shadow. A dash light glare caught the bottom half of a chin, smooth, no beard. After 3 silent miles, I tried conversation weather, new development. He answered each with neat but short replies, then asked if I preferred driving nights. I said safer traffic, though sometimes lonely. He laughed once, quiet enough that I almost missed it. The highway shoulder reflectors passed like metronomes. Maps showed no reroute. Still, something ticked my nerves. Evan finally spoke. "Take the next gravel road left." No street sign, just a farm track. Surge rides sometimes meant rural airpins, but my fuel gauge told me I'd regret it if this went longer. I gently said app guidelines advise staying on paved roads without clear address. He replied our route would reconnect to paved arterial in under 10 minutes. His tone left no opening for argument, but he remained polite. Against better sense, I turned. Gravel crackled, tail gust corkscrewing behind. The dome light switch had a photometric glitch. Every time a bump jostled wiring, it flashed half a second. The third flick showed Evan leaning sideways, face close to the gap between headrests. His eyes were pale, maybe blue, maybe gray, and unblinking in the strobing half-glow. He asked what precautions drivers take if a rider becomes violent. I lied that live video uploaded continuously. Most drivers do. He nodded, sat back. Signal dropped to SOS only. The driver app went into offline cache. The road narrowed, barbed wire fences, hemming stalks of last year's corn. Evan instructed me to stop where an irrigation pump shed stood about 100 yards ahead. The shed looked like a tombstone in headlights, concrete, door slit of darkness. I said company policy forbade mid-route stops unless for emergencies. He said this was about $200 emergency added tip. I slowed anyway, curiosity taunting fear. As wheels rolled to a halt, he leaned forward, voice lower. "Please turn the engine off." Instead, I nudged gear to park but left engine idling. My thumb slid beneath steering wheel where an old friend taught me to hang a carpenter's hammer in a custom Velcro sleeve legal tool, comforting heft. Dome light blinked again. Evan held his phone at chest level. Its screen glowed a waveform app, record timer running. He lifted the phone higher, pointed it toward my face, said, "State your driver number for verification." My chest hollowed. Only corporate auditors request that code, and always an app. I asked to see the notification. He said auditors spoof systems to test compliance. Word choice felt corporate, yet off, like a script memorized but misaligned. I asked destination again. He sighed long and ended recording. Then he pocketed phone, reached inside coat, withdrew a thin plastic bag. Inside sat a folded safety vest, orange reflective strips pristine. He unzipped coat enough to reveal the vest already on underlining the coat. My stomach rolled. He opened the door, gust of night air flooding cab. "Stay in the vehicle." He exited, footsteps crunching gravel toward the pump shed. Shed door screeched open. My hazard instinct roared. Accelerator, U-turn, gone. But the part of me still hoping to salvage 5-star nerves froze. Evan reappeared carrying a heavy contractor bag, maybe 40 pounds, slung over his shoulder. He loaded it into the trunk area without asking. Shut hatch. Return to back seat. Smoother now. You can drive to the next paved road, he said. Then I'll set navigation. My mind spun. Illegal disposal? Farm tools? Something living? He just locked it in my car. Hammer under wheel felt too small. I eased forward, scanning mirrors, no headlights behind. Dome glitch burst again. Evan pressed phone to ear, murmuring numbers like coordinates. Then, shipment moved. ETA 23. He noticed my eyes in the mirror, smiled faintly, not friendly. He asked if I could drive faster. Timeline mattered. I forced calm, said gravel limited speed. He suggested I take a farm lane shortcut coming up on right. He'd guide me. The lane was narrower. Ahead, faint glow suggested a highway intersection. As we approached a cattle grid crossing, an idea flicked. Steel grids, jolt suspensions. If trunk lid popped, maybe the bag might shift out. But lock actuator engaged earlier and likely. He told me to stop at a crossroads sign. Engine idled. He stared at my reflected eyes. Pop the trunk, he said. Need to confirm seal. My pulse hammered. I asked if we could wait until paved shoulder safer. He leaned forward slowly, hand into coat again, pulled half a foot of polished metal syringe barrel capped, maybe tranquilizer. Engine off, he repeated. I threw hammer from lap over shoulder at him, pivoted left hand to shifter, punched gas. Hammer thudded somewhere. Evan shouted, syringe clattering. Gravel fishtailed. I straightened onto graded road. He lunged between seats, grabbed steering wheel rim. Car swerved. I elbowed back, clipped his jaw. He lost grip. I saw a highway sign ahead, junction with State 47. Traffic, maybe. I reached hazard flash button, lit strobes. Evan regained balance, now brandishing syringe uncapped. He aimed for my neck. I juked right shoulder into door, slammed brakes, let inertia throw him against console. Needle stabbed headliner missing me. I bailed out driver door, engine still on, sprinted into ditch, shouting for help, though no cars approached. My phone still offline. Evan climbed over console, slid into driver's seat. I heard trunk unlatch. He backed, turning 3-point dust clouds, swallowing taillights. Then he was gone. I hiked half mile until cell bars returned. Called 911. Deputies located the car abandoned under a rail overpass 10 miles away. Hammer still on passenger floor. Contractor bag was gone. In trunk, they found 4 more syringes and a stack of plastic wristbands, printed with QR codes linked to patient transport forms. Organs listed, blood types, times. Each QR redirected to dead hospital portals. The syringes contained ketamine. Detectives believe Avon was courier for black market transplant runs, sedate rideshare drivers, load biological cargo, deliver to rendezvous, ditch car. Rideshare apps flag my account for manual driver photo verification. Legitimate Hal got a strike when I no-showed his still-waiting pickup. Local news ran a single segment. Corporate PR insisted background checks flag nothing. They never aired Evan's likeness driver-side dashcam captured only mirror shades. Case remains open. Deputy thinks courier cell pivoted cities after my escape. I keep hammer strap on wheel, though I quit nights. When friends request pickup from bars, I tell them license plates don't matter if someone wears the company's vest under a coat. Ask for ride code. Check the actual app route. Because once a stranger holds your wheel with one hand and a sedative with the other, the map line belongs to him and the best. You can hope for is enough gravel to shake free before your engine idles next to a shed someone prepped for you hours earlier.